Recently, we got to interview some indie devs, and this was one of the cooler ones. A group of students from the University of Utah, they put together a pirate game where they hand-built a seesaw, which allows you and a partner to aim and shoot at other pirate ships and enemies. It was a great thing to cover, guys. I hope you guys all enjoy. So here's their project. All right, we are standing at what might be one of the more popular games in the all control section. Can you describe the concept that everyone's been looking at?
Yeah, so this is Back Off Me Booty. It's a cooperative seesaw shooter. It's on rails, so you're going through 3 levels and it's followed by a boss fight at the very end. Essentially, these 2 players are going through 3 levels, aiming at 3 different enemy types: high, mid, medium, and low, and they're trying to essentially just get them to back off of their booty.
And so when it comes to the incorporation of the seesaw, how can they use that?
Yeah, so the seesaw essentially mimics the way that a real ship would tilt. So if our signage right there is the front of the ship and this is the back of the ship, this would be the right side of the ship and the left side of the ship. So players are essentially seeing what's behind one another, so to speak. And they're just making call-outs, trying to collaborate, and make sure that all the enemies are defeated in each level.
And it's really unique because both people have targets to hit on each side?
Yeah, exactly. And they're hitting those targets with cannons, which are used with these buttons here. And we also have an ammunition system, so like when you run out of ammo, in order to reload, you like seesaw really fast, which is really cool.
So when it comes to inspiration, who thought of this? How did you guys think of this?
Yeah, so this was my pitch. This was actually part of a class, an alt controller class that we have at the University of Utah master's program. So this was a 1-semester project with 13 people. The inspiration was essentially coming to alt control GDC last year and trying to think of a cool idea for our target audience, which is like expo goers. So one of the first things that like came to mind was like, how funny would it be if you were like in an expo crowd and you saw somebody's head like pop out of the expo crowd and then go back down and then pop up again? So that was kind of like one criteria. Another was like, I love multiplayer games, and I wanted to make sure that we had small enough counts so that matchmaking was easy if we had like single players, but also enough communication because it's like great to play with your friends because a lot of expo goers are here not alone, right?
Yeah, I was asking you earlier, how would this co-op game work at home? And you were like, do you have a seesaw at home? But there are maybe other possible ways for people to get this to work at home?
Yeah, so we have an itch page where we have instructions for how to build one with the Arduino parts and everything. That said, we're also looking into maybe potentially commercial revenues or avenues here. That's kind of just been brought about with a lot of people coming by and telling us like, why isn't this in a Dave & Buster's? Or this could be great in a barcade, or this could be great at like Disney World or something like that. So we're exploring our options. It's just difficult monetizing a student project because we have like international students from all over the world, and they're on international student visas, which makes it a little difficult for them to earn income that isn't academically based.
Yeah. Can you go into a bit more detail about the group? Because I know you mentioned Utah, but also I was asking someone else, so are you guys indie? Are you a college group? Like how does that work then?
Yeah, so we are technically a college group, like it's a college team. The nice thing about our university is they let us keep the IP for our projects.
Oh, wow.
So this is technically, we own this. That said, the university has been like super supportive in getting us out here. And they basically paid for most of our travel expenses and everything that we needed and gotten us in touch with the right people to just make this thing happen.
From start to finish, how much time has been dedicated to this?
Oh man, so I guess like during the actual project itself, it was 2 class periods a week with work outside of those class periods, which was about like 4 hours a day. So I guess maybe like 10 hours a week per person for 13 people. We ended up keeping the scope really small, which is why it looks so polished for what it is, and we just did a really good job with that, so the team's done awesome work.
I'm sure a lot of people are curious, what was the hardest part about putting all of this together and making sure everything's properly operating?
Honestly, it was like the actual construction of the seesaw and making sure that it fit all of our criteria. We wanted to make sure it was super robust because we didn't want to necessarily make it so that people couldn't ride it if they were scared that it's going to break. So making sure that it was extremely sturdy was one of the most difficult things. Another thing, and that's also something that we like. Just it's unexplored territory for us because we make games, not seesaws. So another thing that said is the Arduino, which is in our little treasure chest in the middle of the seesaw. None of us have really worked with Arduinos before. That said, we just kind of picked it up and figured it out as you do, and made that happen.
So for you or for others in the team, is the end goal then to be in video games, to make video games?
Yeah, so we're all graduating really soon here, within like about a month, and looking for jobs in the industry. Everyone wants to be in games. We're all in the master's program, so we can make games. That said, like stuff like this is awesome. Like seeing the attention towards it, because there's so many people here who are like highly decorated in the games industry, and they're like, "Oh my God, you're on the Seesaw game!" Like, so that's honestly like such an honor. But yeah, the end goal is to eventually work with them and be able to share our talent with them.
Heck yeah! 2 last ones for you. I've been asking everyone, what is your favorite video game genre?
Multiplayer. You know, me personally, it's competitive multiplayer. That might be a controversial opinion there, but that said, yeah, that's part of the inspiration for this game. I just love playing with friends and playing with other people, so that's why we're here.
Best video game of all time?
Oh boy, my favorite video game of all time. Kingdom Hearts 2.
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Okay.
You got anything else?
No, I'm just glad you didn't say like Valorant or something.
Well, you know,
That was his second option. Well, thank you very much.